Welcome back, YouTube family. We are here with some Safemoon news. Today I'm not going to go over a wallet or anything iOS/Android related, but I am going to go over some chart levels and look at some support and resistance levels. As you know, I am a day trader and I love to look at levels and I love to see what other people are seeing. That way we can base futures off of what has happened and what may happen from there. I hope you guys stick around to check out a few of these numbers and a few of these levels. And if you do enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe and go ahead and thumbs up the video. Okay guys, here we are on the first chart that I wanted to check out. I will link the website for you if you want to go check out the chart as well as the news that goes along with it. But what I really found interesting on this chart was, first of all, the time frame and the release of some of the news for obviously the wallet that's been going on with Safemoon, and a few tops and a few consolidation levels that have happened recently. We had a lot of bearish momentum coming through August, from July to August, and we gave back about 50% in that amount of time. But then we had a rip that pushed up really strongly on using catalysts. Obviously, that's what we expect to see. We did have the pullback here, which happened right at the end of August, which also coincided with some of that news. But one of the big things that we want to have a look at is the two consolidation levels, which normally means that there's a lot of value that people are trying to work out in their head, and they don't know whether or not that the bulls are going to come in or the bears are going to keep their eyes on certain levels and say, okay, this is where we need to either start pulling out or we're going to go against this stock. First of all, we have this consolidation level here, which happened at the beginning of September and at the end of August, where we had a pullback from the 32 level down to around the 23 level, and that was in a matter of probably about 7 to 8 days, and we formed a nice value level here. But then again, we had the continuous pullback from that level. This is where the descending triangle pattern started to form here, and it's already been drawn here for you, so it's really easy to point out. We had this descending and this descending to this point right here, and this was the anchor. Now, this was, this is where if you were looking to buy low right at the end of September, this would have been the perfect point. And that's when we had this rip right up, and this was daily volume. Boom. And there we go. Now, the big thing that I'm trying to look at this point is the next consolidation level, which is where we are right now. This is where we are. We are sitting in a value channel right between 18 and I would say 14, even though it's 13.99, I would say 14. So we're looking between 18 and 14. Now, having said all of that nonsense, a lot of people don't really care about these the charts. They really don't think it makes much difference. They're just looking for news catalyst in order to know whether to buy, if you want to buy the dip or if you want to sell off. Really, what we want to keep our eye on right now is anything that's going to move below 14. Once we start seeing, if we see 12 again, that's when we're going to start looking for bears to move in. We really don't want to see that. We want to see moons coming in. But this is what the chart is telling us. Now, the descending triangle pattern really doesn't, fingers crossed, doesn't look like it's going to come into much play right now. I want to look at another chart that's going to show a little bit better support and resistance levels and see if that helps us. Okay guys, this is the second site that I wanted you guys to check out. It is fxstreet.com. I will post the link in the description below. It gives a little bit better description of the support levels and whether or not we're looking for a breakout from those levels. So I'm going to scroll down. Now, this chart does look a little bit more complicated as far as the way it's described and presented to everybody. But the price level and also the action is very similar to exactly what we just looked at. Now, we're going to look at this support. The biggest thing is that what I want to look at is the support. Okay, here is I love how they also drew the ABCD. That really hits home. I love that. That's a day trading symbol. I love to look at that stuff. But here we have the 14 RSI, and I'm not really going to look at that right now, even though it looks like it's breaking below 55. Really, we have this, and we have this. Now, this is a one-day chart, and we're looking back over about 2 months. Again, it's the same time period that we just looked at earlier. So we can still take these touches where you see levels like this, where you see a lot of touches, even though they're back here, and even though you have stuff that rip through and that come back down, they still give you some sense of a level, even though it may not be as obvious. It sometimes takes the candle and the wick to actually close that day before you can go back and say, okay, this actually did form a level. This is actually very well respected, and this is one of those levels right here. So the reason these guys are calling this support is because we are in this level of consolidation. It's basically forming an ABCD, exactly what you see drawn on the chart here. We found this low down here, we went up, and we were unable to rip through this resistance level. It came back down, and then it started forming another consolidation, which is going to give us the area above C. If you were day trading this, you would have already taken an entry here, and you would be looking for the push above D, which would be here. So we are looking for the D. We are trying to find the D. You guys, fingers crossed, we find the D. I'm just making jokes, but literally that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for the ABCD pattern here. And if we do hit the D formation, that means that we're going to have that bullish push that's going to rip through the previous levels that we were just talking about on the other chart, and then we're going to start looking for a move that's back up here. And again, this is a very easy level to see. Everybody can see this. So with the improvements to the wallets that are going to be coming out, I did see a few comments about some issues that folks were having. I hope you guys get those sorted out. I may release another video about what I've seen. I haven't experienced any of those issues, so it's really hard for me to try to, I definitely empathize, but it's hard for me to see the exact same thing. I did some research on that earlier from a few comments that I saw as far as syncing goes and stuff like that. And I actually did try to find some solutions. I just couldn't find anything concrete in where a lot of people were having the same issues. But I'm going to continue to look into that as well, because I still do have my Trust Wallet app that I'm looking at on a consistent basis. So thanks you guys for stopping by. I hope all this mumbo jumbo makes a little bit of sense, and I hope you do enjoy the content. If so, please feel free to come back next time. Take care.